missed last week's episode, we explored Simpala village, home to the Bajo tribe, and had the pleasure of meeting the families while being part of their daily lives. Today, we have sailed down from Palau Hoga and sailing to Tomia. This island is part of the 4 islands that form the Wakatobi National Park. The first 2 letters of the name of each island makes the name Wakatobi. Wangi Wangi, Kaladupa, Tomia, and Binongo. The location of the islands are off the island of Sulawesi. So we left Palau Hoga at about 7 o'clock. It's now like 12:30 and we're only just coming up to Palau Toma now. We left Palau Hoga up here, came around and came in this way just to try to get a better wind angle, even though there's not much wind. And then we will come down and try to get into this anchorage. It's been a very slow ride, but it's been very pleasant, flat sea and sunny. So it's been quite nice. And this island has got a lagoon. It's very shallow and we have to come in at high tide, and that's at 1:30. So that's pretty good timing. I thought we were going to be way too early. Turns out, perfect. So there's a very shallow reef that we have to go between and a little shallow reef we've got to go over. And once we're in there, it's still not very deep, but it's good protection and it's supposed to be nice snorkeling. So we're going to do that before we make the bigger jump and head further south. Just coming into Palau Toma, it has got a very narrow entrance and a very shallow. This boat's not even going in because obviously he wants to get back out on low tide. Once we're in, and there's no leaving until the tide comes back in tomorrow. So this is what the lagoon looks like that we're trying to get into. We're just out here at the moment, and this is the entrance right through that tiny little gap. And we've got to come into here and come around. There'll be a mark and then we'll be situated in here. And this is the little town or little village. We can go in and grab some eggs and things like that. So it's quite a challenging little anchorage and we have to wait for high tide to actually get in there and get through here. And there's a few of us waiting out the front. Probably the sketchiest anchorage I think I've been to yet. Okay, you got one? Yep, okay. Look, just looks a little bit deeper on your port side. Okay, cool. You're in the center now. Port, port. Blowing a bum over to the port side. It's just got to keep the speed up because we're getting blowing. But he doesn't want to go too fast in case we need to pull it up. It looks a bit, you're coming into a bit deeper water now. Oh, okay. It looks a bit deeper. Yes. Head for the yellow flag. That is ridiculously frightening. Right, we're in and we've anchored, and the lowest point was 1.6 under our keel, so that wasn't too bad. It's so crystal clear, it actually looks a lot closer. So it was good. All these boats are coming in now. That other big one's just come in as well. Apparently we're on dry land. It felt like we were coming in on dry land.
Yeah, Navionics isn't much chop really.
Yeah, that was sketchy though. Here comes a floating bra. Just came floating past our boat. Someone's lost their bra. We've just come into town to try to find some eggs and fruit. It's a very small town. Fancy houses on this side of the street. Good morning. We are going to go for a dive along a beautiful wall that's apparently the most beautiful diving in the whole of Indonesia. That's what we've been told. The water is very, very clear. There's beautiful hard and soft corals, lots of turtles. There is resorts here from high-end to homestay, so you can actually stay here. You can get here. It's just, it's hard. So it's not easy, but we're just lucky enough to be able to anchor in this beautiful sheltered lagoon. There is another reef on the other side that we'll also do a snorkel on, and it has a lot of sea snakes. So we're going to head over there now and check it out.
The end is near and oh so bittersweet. Lose my sight so I can find my feet. Breathing it in, letting it go. Heavy hearts beating so lonely. Is it a crime to feel your tears? I'm sinking so slowly, but I'm rising from the cage. I hate you, adore you for forcing me to stay. One day I will come home and fall into the earth. From jungle skies to city lights, I'm following my voice. Afraid of everything and nothing all at once. How could I give you up if I feel for you this much? This shake in my lungs, I fear it will never go away. Attaching myself to a place that would hold me every day. I'm sinking so slowly, but I'm rising from the cage. I hate you, adore you for forcing me to stay.
That is the nicest coral and fish I've seen since I've been here. Actually for ages. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I loved it. The amount of beautiful fish. And you don't feel threatened like there's going to be a shark grab you, but maybe a snake. Well, how good was that diving today, this morning? It was just beautiful. The water was actually crystal clear, heaps of turtles. It's probably the best diving I've seen in Indonesia. This Pulau Toma is beautiful. There's the other side as well that we saw the sea snakes. The children do play with them, so that gave me some confidence. But we're about to leave and we've got to come out of here on high tide, and we're going to head around to this other reef. It's another lagoon, and it's a much bigger lagoon, but it's possibly quite hard to find the entrance. So I want to show you where we dived and also where we're heading to. They're really good anchorages around here, very protected. So we are here and we dived today, free dived along this wall here. But whether we saw the snakes was along here on this wall. So we just came out of the dinghy, came straight around here, and it was just stunning. But we're about to leave and we're going to come out of the channel, come around here, and we're going to go into this little lagoon. Now this looks like a pretty wide pass, but don't be fooled. It's actually quite hard to find, to see. But once you're in there, it's a very, very big lagoon. And again, really protected. So that's our plan. We're gonna head off on high tide. And we are leaving because it's now again high tide at 2 o'clock. So we've taken that tide. Bye.
Supply boats.
Supply boats, yeah. Wow, that's some supply on there. They can't get inside, obviously. Or they can't get back out when they want to. Yes, it's shallow going in, but once you're in there, I think it was like 30 meters of water.
Yep.
So it's okay once you're in. And the snorkeling this morning was spectacular on this other side, just where that jetty comes out, on the other side of that, just up from the resort. Incredible amount of turtles and big fish because they're protected. So we're going to head to this next anchorage. It's a lagoon as well, but you can enter at any tide, and there's no land, no villages, but that's why I just went in and got some eggs and met some of the locals. So we'll stay here until the wind is good for us to head down to Flores. We are in a beautiful anchorage. It's a lagoon. There's no land. The land is actually on the other side of the lagoon. So it was a bit of a trek getting in here yesterday. And I'll video us getting out. But we're going to have to be stuck here for a few days because we are in a glass out. Look at this. There's no breeze over there. There's this little ripple across the water. It's a very, very light breeze. And beautiful reef. We're going to go for a snorkel around there. But yeah, we're trying to get to Flores, and it is going to be a 24-hour sail. But the way this is looking, it could be a 3-day sail. It's warm and sunny. Well, today we are leaving this lagoon at long last. This one's called Selatan Lagoon. But we came from over there at Selatan Island. They've got the best snorkeling over there. That reef was spectacular. But anyway, today we've waited 3 days for wind, and then we got wind yesterday and it was going in the wrong direction. It would be right on our nose. So today we are leaving and we have a westerly. So we'll just have to go with it. And basically we're trying to get down to Florence and then head to Roti. But you know what? We're just gonna have to go where the wind takes us because it's just a real struggle trying to get straight down to the west end of Flores. All right, you ready? And we've got to pull up this anchor because we've got all our anchor out. We're in about 30 meters of water here in this lagoon, massive lagoon. Yeah, and our anchor, half of it's no good. You got to help me pull this anchor chain up. Yeah. Yes, we've got to pull up satellite to get out of here, although you can pretty much see the reef as the sun's coming up now and low tide's coming in, so going out. So it's pretty easy to see, but it's a very long passage and it's a little bit windy. Anyway, first thing we've got to do is get this chain up because we have, I think, about 70 meters out, and that's all the chain we have. And this part is fine, but no, this is the bad end. This part of the chain is the bad end, and half of that that's in the water now is the good end. So this needs galvanizing basically, but we're just going to replace the whole thing once we get to Langkawi, I think. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so this is how much chain we've got left.
There it is.
There it is. We're on rope. Is that 70 meters or 80?
80.
80.
This water's deep in Indonesia.
Yeah, it's a problem for us.
So we didn't have much left in the tank there.
No.
But as they say, the chain is no good to you in the locker.
Well, anyway, we've got to hand pull some of this up because this part needed galvanizing and
it's
it
worn.
jumps.
It's worn, so we end for ended it. So the bit at this end is pretty dodgy and it jumps in the gypsy. So
Yeah.
I have to deal with that.
Yeah, so in Langkawi, we'll probably just replace the whole chain.
Yep.
We should have had it galvanized back in Bundaberg, but we didn't get into Bundaberg, so it
Yeah.
didn't get down.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Anyway, let's go. Okay, this is the nerve-wracking part, is getting out through this pretty long entrance. Got to go up this way and then around and then it's long and it's not just a straight line. It's tricky. Anyway, I'm going to put the camera down because I've got to be on my game for this one. There's that channel. We're in the channel that we did the drift dive the other day. Yesterday actually, straight along there. Today the tide is going out still. We have a dive boat right in front of us, which is not helpful. But this is the easier part. It's a nice deep wide channel through here. So at some point it was probably a stilt house. And that's the beginning of the reef, the entrance of the reef. So if you're looking for this reef, just try to find that mark basically. This reef is such a big reef, it's quite disorientating and it's hard to, you lose your footing on where you are. It's quite a funny place. This boat looked like it was in the middle of the channel and it's not, it's on the edge of the reef. But yeah, because there's no land here and it's so big and you can't really see the definition of colour, it's sometimes really quite difficult, particularly on high tide, to get your bearings and where you are. Anyway, we're just coming to the exit and we are heading south, hopefully. Well, it's a beautiful day heading south, but no wind and we've been motoring all day. There's a little bit of chop out here and the sun is going down. Anyway, we should be there tomorrow around 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something like that, hopefully. Catch you guys next week for a lot more sailing.